LL Nation, what's goody? It's a blistering. Man, I was just telling Malik, man, all of my Chicago is gone, man. I can't do it anymore. Lucky Lefty podcast.
Said the wind and took the soul out of you, man. Took
No,
the
hey,
Chicago
bro.
out of you.
So I was telling Malik before we get into the show, we thank you for tapping in today. And brought to you by and featuring Honora Whiskey. Go to honorawhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, honorawhiskey.com. So I was talking to Malik and I was telling him, like, hey, bro, you know, the missus goes to work out 4 a.m. I don't even know how she walked out the door this morning. She comes back, tells me that the left rear tire is a little low. And I'm like, okay. So I jump up. And at this point in time, it's like 7 below. And I'm just jumping up. I hear her saying, I'm like, all right, let me go take care of this, man, so I can get back. Go to the gas station, bro. I had my 4 quarters. Only to realize they pumped it up to $1.25. Like, when did that happen?
That's an odd number. Inflation on air.
Nah, I need 5 quarters just to get air. But hopefully, thank God, this one had Apple Pay on it, which I was like, okay, that's cool.
For an air pump?
For an air pump, yeah. So Apple Pay with my phone, which is wild, right? Apple Pay with my phone, and I forgot my gloves though, bro. So you have to realize at this point in time, it's like 7 below.
Yeah, you don't feel like you have hands. You just out there doing stuff.
Bro. So I forgot my gloves, and dude, every 10 seconds I'm switching hands, other one in the pocket, putting air in this tire, bro. And I told you, man, I'm not Chicago anymore, bro.
Mm-hmm. He was like, "This is what I've been doing, and I was cool with this.
Yeah,
How was I ever cool with this?"
And right about now, man, like my blood is real West Coast right now.
Yeah,
it's like that's all I can deal with. So, it was
see,
today. Today was the day that I recognized, like, you know what? It might
turn
be
into
time.
a snowbird.
Yeah, it might be time. It might be time, bro. January 26, 2022 was the day all of the Chicago left me, man.
It's like the only thing you wish you could take the food with you. Everything else is like, man, I don't know about this weather, dog.
Man. But let's get into it, man. We have special guest CJ Prosise joining us at the top of the next hour, man. That should be fun. That's a Virginia dude. I can't wait to ask him about the DMV.
Oh, straight up. That's Mr. DMV right there.
Yes, sir. But we're gonna talk about, like, play a clip because we had a great interview. If you missed it yesterday, the second hour of the show with Cam McDaniel was absolutely fascinating conversation. You have to check it out if you missed it. Go to the YouTube channel and check it out. We might replay it later this week, dude, because I think it's well worth a replay.
Cam came and dropped some good stuff on this interview, man. Just great stuff.
And one of the gems he dropped that I thought was worth bringing back was the conversation we were having about Notre Dame and, being compared to Alabama and Georgia, and the fan base wanting more 5 stars in recruiting. And Marcus Freeman is going after more players. He's casting a wider net. But the reality of Notre Dame ever getting up to having 25 stars on their roster might be a little far-fetched. And Cam McDaniel talked about the essence of Notre Dame and what really needs to happen for things to get to the level where they compete and ultimately win a national championship. This is from yesterday's show, special guest Cam McDaniel.
Like the whole nation got behind, this group of individuals, but ultimately it's about a coach that leaves a good head football coaching job at Temple, goes to a small school or small orphanage in Fort Worth and develops a football team that ends up competing with the best teams in Texas in the 1930s and develops the wishbone offense and the shotgun offense simultaneously. So innovation, creativity, and culture, the things that you're talking about, are what define like these winning teams. There aren't Like people are looking for this in the talent pool. And I'm telling you guys, talent is everywhere. Like it's everywhere. And I mean, I think I just retweeted something about like all the stars right now that we're watching in the divisional playoff games.
Yeah.
Like how many 5 stars are in that list? I mean, like talent and creativity, you got to like, it's creativity. Like we got to start looking at creativity as a indicator for potential, like, I don't know how to put it, but potential like dominating play, like players that again are fearless and have the ability to innovate and create in ways that are unique and can get comfortable with their team and do the stuff that, again, like we were talking, like a guy like Patrick Mahomes is able to do because he's so like comfortable with his team, and he set the tone of that collective consciousness in such a way that it's like things just happen. Or like Brady as another great example. Like Brady was just like things were just falling into his lap. It felt like it was just everything was happening the way that like you just know Tom Brady's gonna give you a run for it at the end because he's Tom Brady and he's got those intangibles, kind of like Michael Jordan always had. Like just there's something about him that when he steps on the court, he just knows that like I'm a huge part of what makes this sport special.
And that stood out to me. Innovation, creativity, and culture. And I think those are 3 things that Marcus Freeman is trying to do. He's trying to be innovative with the way he's recruited at Notre Dame. This has never been done this way before. He's trying to be creative with his coaching staff and the way he's going about bringing in a certain type of guys, more consultants than Notre Dame is used to.
Yeah, way more.
Setting a culture. We talked about that on Monday. You hear it from the defensive side of the ball. We've yet to hear from the offensive side of the ball. But you hear from the defensive side of the ball, like, yo.
Culture's there. Competitive. Yeah. They fly around. They love being there. And everybody's on board.
So now, you know, it's just watching all of this come together. So how is it going to look when Notre Dame finally gets to the top of that mountain and hoists the trophy as a national championship? Like, will they have a dominant front 7, stout front 7 like 2012, you know, with, you know, the back end not yet fully developed, cornerbacks that are younger, and a young quarterback in tandem with a veteran quarterback that's working a 2-quarterback system with a running game, and the offensive line ascending. The offensive line wasn't yet what we saw 14, 15, 16, 17, but it was going in that direction. Or 2018, which most people, if you talk to them, they feel like even the Clemson staff pointed out after they won the championship, they were worried about Notre Dame more than they were worried about Alabama, just because of the front and the way Notre Dame had played all year. Notre Dame was pretty dominant that year.
They were
pretty dominant that year. So when you really think about that, I think the first thing that's going to be different and innovative, just based upon his recruiting, is that linebackers at Notre Dame are going to be so versatile that the defense moving forward, we don't know what the formation is going to be.
We don't know.
Because he's recruiting linebackers that can literally be DNs in a 4-man front with 2 defensive tackles. They can go NASCAR with 2 defensive ends that are bulkier on the inside, 2 linebackers, and heck, he has so much depth at linebacker that he could throw 5 on the field. Like, they're that fast, they're that versatile. So I definitely see where he's going defensively as far as being innovative.
He's definitely creating one-on-one mismatches for offenses to block all day. You know, when you got 5 5-star linebackers, that's a lot to worry about when they're all rotating in there. When you got a bunch of guys that some guys can be stand-up, some can be rush, some can be dropping coverage, some can be stop the run. I think because they're so versatile, Falsky included. We even saw Falsky dropping out in the Fiesta Bowl, maybe more than we would have liked. But it does show you how the defense is. You never know where you'll see somebody. I mean, we've seen Kyle Hamilton come from safety position, making plays before linebackers. So that's more of what we want to be able to see is the sideline to sideline and everybody hitting the football. So a prime example is what a national championship Notre Dame team would look like. The defense would look very similar to a Georgia, Alabama defense. Now, I think our offense would be more unique than what we saw from those two schools, but their offenses are unique from each other as well. Stetson Bennett couldn't run Bryce's offense at Georgia because that's not his skill set. So our offense is going to have to look to Tyler's skill set. I'm thinking like a 2014 offense. Heavy read option, run play action stuff, quick stuff, and then you're trying to take shots because he can throw it deep. He can throw it further than Jack. So you got to be able to extend the play. I think seeing a lot more screens come back 2014 style because you got Chris Tyree that, in my opinion, early on, he should touch the ball a lot, especially in that running back room to get it going early, especially with Ohio State. He should have at least 10 touches.
Right.
Just so that'll make the team comfortable, I feel like. I think we could go to sleep at night being like, we at least gave Chris Tyree and Lorenzo Styles 20 touches apiece or 10 apiece, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that it's a cookie cutter archetype for a defense that's a national championship defense.
Now, let's talk about that, the different components. Because in 18, you had a guy, Julian Love, that played a lot of off coverage, but he was in the mold of what you saw with the Legion of Boom. Richard Sherman was an off coverage guy, but he was a guy that you didn't want to throw at.
Right.
Everybody thinks that having a lockdown corner means the guy has to bump and run every snap. And I love the way the Rams use Jalen Ramsey. He got beat late by Mike Evans just because literally, I don't think he thought they were going to throw it.
I really think he was like this game.
He was like, man, they not throwing this ball.
Because remember the time they threw it before, he made a good play and Weddle got that penalty.
Right.
So he's like, man, Tom Brady is done. He's not thinking about throwing this because nobody was deep other than them.
And Brady snuck him.
Everybody was underneath.
Brady snuck him. He snuck him. He looked up like, oh, snap. You can see he looked up like,
he was like, he's like, you got me, bro. I wasn't even paying attention.
Right.
But he's still a great player because he only get like 3 or 4 targets a whole game.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Notre Dame, when they ultimately win, will have that type of defensive back. He might not be in the mold of an Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner that's just bump and run, loves to bump and run. But
they may turn into that, though, because Marcus' defense,
it
requires a guy. I mean, we done seen a guy not be Sauce Walker in that defense and get exposed.
Yeah.
So he's recruiting guys that can fit a Sauce Walker more so than a Richard Sherman for the scheme.
Yeah.
I think if anything, Marcus Freeman's going to get even more creative because he's going to be like, I'm playing with a house full of cards.
Yeah. Now, see, I want to see Jaden Nick. Like, I'm Anthony. I mean, he's been out there with you. But, dude, the attitude this kid is bringing to the table already, that's half the battle at that position.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have an attitude at that position. You have to.
And that goes a long way because that's the attitude we lack late in games previous years.
Yeah.
You just like, man, this tackling thing, I'm over it. Because it's not even that we're not in position. That's the frustrating part is that we are in position. We just be like, man, it's bringing them down is a whole nother thing. I can get there, but bringing them down, come on, I'm tired.
So multiple linebackers, shut down defensive back, not necessarily a man that's bump and run all the time, but someone that puts the fear. This teams don't throw at Cam Hart right now.
No. So a team not throwing at Cam Hart and we got freak athletes at linebacker, who you throwing it to?
Yeah, because definitely
who you gonna throw it to?
the pass defense will be much better because the coverage.
Yeah.
Now you're not really man to man all the time. You're playing a lot of zone, and coach can throw a lot of his fires, his stunts, things that he likes to do.
And Brandon Joseph's experience and athleticism is going to play great in that defensive scheme.
Yeah, and see, Brandon Joseph can go and play he's very much like Cal Hamilton. I'm not calling him Cal Hamilton.
No, but I agree.
You don't have to bring in a nickel.
No.
Like if they go to 3 wide receivers, Brandon Joseph
just drop him down.
Drop him down.
Drop him down.
Let him defend that third wide receiver in the slot.
And now you can worry about moving fast.
Right.
That's the Oklahoma State cover up now, because now you moving fast. We don't have to sub. We got Brandon Joseph can do the same thing with a nickel.
Yeah. Now, everybody's been asking me in comments after the show about Clarence Lou. See, Lou knows what he has to do.
Yeah, like he
come on. We don't have to say anything about C. Lou.
His to-do list is the most out of anybody on the team.
There you go. He knows. And he knows what was brought in with Morrison and Jaden Mickey in the 22 class.
And Ben Morrison is nice. I think that's my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's really talking about him, but Ben Morrison has the traits. I mean, the kid's like, what, 6'2"?
Yeah.
Like we recruit some big guys at corner now. Phillip Riley's huge. I'm excited to see what he looks like. I know he was young last year, but
he pretty much had a red shirt year.
Yeah.
And a chance to develop under Mickens, under Freeman, and O'Leary. So, like you said, the defensive backfield, in my opinion, is going to look a whole lot better next year.
Yeah.
A whole lot better. So you might not have to worry about C. Lou as much.
Yeah, I think he would be the least of our problems.
Yeah.
One, because I think he'll play better. I think that was just a little bit prisoner of the moment. We don't want to be too hard on the kid, but I don't think we'll be worried about him being an issue, because I don't think they'll be able to get the ball off. I think we're going to have a lot more sacks and turnovers with Falsky coming back.
I told you why he was coming back. He's coming for that. You know what? I thought the record would be more than 13 and a half in a season.
In college, yeah.
I thought it would be more than 13 and a half. From Notre Dame, I thought the Notre Dame record would be more. Like, okay.
But you got to think.
Guys like Justin Tuck, I'm like, man.
But Tuck had but you got to think, Justin Tuck, football back then with Justin Tuck was a lot of run stopping.
Facts.
Like Justin Tuck right now probably had 20-something sacks, like some Chase Young or something crazy.
Well, how many snaps did Justin Tuck actually drop? You got to think about that too.
Yeah.
Ossie's probably dropping 20% of the time.
Way more than he should.
Right. Absolutely.
It's too much when you catch the replay and you be like, wait a minute, why is he not rushing? And they see him drop into space. You're like, wait, where's he going?
Right. So when we think about that, let's go to the defensive line. We already said they need to get up 113, 130 for the last 2 years as far as yards given up on the ground. It's not good enough.
No.
Not good enough, right?
Because that's too balanced of a day.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm interested in seeing, will Notre Dame go and get run stuffers? Or will they just allow their defensive line to be disruptive and get into the backfield and then just let their linebackers just clean up the mess? There's two ways you can do that.
I think we focused on 2012 linebackers where we just had Tuitt, Nix, and Chimbo just two-gap everything, and that's how Manti became a Heisman winner.
Honest question. I should have asked you this with Cam on the show yesterday. Everything being equal, they got the same defensive line in front of them. Do you want Jalen or Manti in the middle?
Oh, Jalen. Jalen is one of the best, if not the best player I've ever played with in person. Like, maybe it's a little biased. That's my favorite player I've ever played with is Jalen.
Yeah.
And I haven't played with Manti. but I still think Jalen was way better. Like, I think if Jalen was in the place of Manti, he would have won the Heisman.
Well, first of all, he wouldn't have had a fake girlfriend.
Do you believe that really was a distraction? That played a part?
No. Cam didn't really get into the fullness. He stopped himself because he was about to really open up the can of worms on everything that was happening surrounding that. I think it was bigger. Like, I think what the media got was PR, and Notre Dame kind of.
But I remember being at school when it was going on, because I came to school early.
Huh? I think when they were doing specials on this girlfriend, like game 5 and 6. I think everybody in that locker room knew.
Everybody has something to talk about.
Man, come on, man.
That's such a weird, but like, it's such a weird thing to even say. That's not an excuse, but a distraction, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, dude, when you're going into a national championship game, like, your energy has to be
locked
in. And dealing with that and other stuff. And if I'm not
mistaken, then it comes back to, what was we really dealing with?
A
guy that they didn't want to tackle.
They were still dealing with the residue from oh man, I hate when I draw a blank on names. Prince Shimbo and his alleged issues.
Yeah.
That was still bubbling. So that team, there was a lot going on, man. And they overcame a lot just to make it to that game. Like, we talked about how many tough games they won in that season. So
yeah, we was dragging across the line. Alabama was just waiting there.
Oh man. Alabama was sitting up there like, yeah, okay.
That done fought hard to get here.
Man. But
we had nothing left.
But I do agree with Cam. It really wasn't about the fact of win or loss. They just didn't feel like it was a true representation of who they were as a team that night.
Yeah, because it was so disappointing. At halftime, it was like nobody wanted to even watch it anymore.
And we have to get your boy Tavares on, because that was like Tavares was balling. He was killing them that night.
We called the game for Eifert, but Tavares was the one taking off.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Like, splitting Eifert out and all. It's like, yo, I understand that worked.
They tried to make it seem like that was all we had, though.
Right.
I didn't like that.
And once again, you have to at least try to run the ball. At least try.
We always get afraid in big games to run the football. Even when we played Ohio State with Shaun, we threw the ball as many times damn near as the last time with Jack. Yeah. So every big game we've been in, we've been so non-committal to the run. The LSU game with Ian, and they won on the last play with Miles Boykins. That's the last time I remember us even really running that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Michael Johnson says, or something? We need 200-300 plus DTs. Let the linebackers eat.
Man, I mean, that Georgia Alabama D line looks so good. I want that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They run like a 4-2-5.
They just want to put 4 guys down there and damn near 5 if they want to.
Dude.
And those guys are just way, like, the interior makes it look so good because they're all solid 300.
And you know what's unfair? Dallas Clark, the freshman, number 15 that they had, and then Will Anderson. Like, they're the same body types, bro. Oh my God. Like, just Will Anderson's arms are like,
and he's slim, but he's super strong. And it's just what's the last freak we had look like Will Anderson? I have to think to, Jalen Smith freakiness. That's about Jeremiah Wusu was freaky, but he wasn't as intimidatingly physically huge.
Yeah.
He was just a really good player.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what Cam was getting at. Like, you can find talent everywhere. Like it's freaky talent all over this country. You can't get caught up in 5-star, 4-star. You just have to have the ability as a staff to go find those players, dude. You have to find them. You have to search them out and you have to find them and then you have to develop them. But there is a type. And based upon the linebackers that Marcus Freeman went and got in this 2022 class and the ones he had coming,
like Avengers. He's recruiting superheroes at that position.
Yo, I like that type. I'm all for that. Lucky Lefty podcast. We're really trying to give you what the Notre Dame national championship team would actually look like. And innovative. You know, let's switch over to the offense. Let's throw a spotlight on Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator. When we talk about innovation, what do you see in the Notre Dame offense that can be different and innovative moving forward? Because everybody does like RPOs and other things. But is there anything that you see, because you coach on the high school level, and most people don't understand that really the innovation that comes to college starts at the high school level the majority of the time.
No, absolutely. You see a lot of creative things in high school. You're like, man, why did that's cool y'all thought about that, because it's a work on a bigger level, it just doesn't get called. But in my opinion, what a creative offense would look like for Notre Dame is when I want to go into a Notre Dame game knowing that Styles is touching the ball hella high water.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last Notre Dame game I watched where I felt like, oh, I know where we're going. I know what we're doing. It's always been like, who's going to show up today? Who's going to get hot? And then, when all else gets desperate, give it to 23. Right. I want to go into the game knowing, like, for instance, Ohio State game. I know Chris Tyree's going to touch it. I know that Tyler Buckner's going to get 5 runs in the first quarter at least.
Yeah.
And our identity is we're moving forward. We're going to stretch it vertical and give a bunch of read options, time possession, boom. Just because it's simple, don't make it not creative. We just can't look like we out there just calling plays. Sometimes I think we get in the modes where we're so fancy and we've been prepping for so long, we just start calling stuff. And then we lose that momentum when we're stagnant. So in the beginning of the season, we were a momentum offense. Jack get a big completion. Now we rolling. Now Kyron rip a big run. Now we get a big third down. But if we don't have momentum, it's the hardest thing in the world to watch. Because now you're like, why are we throwing on first and second down? Now it's 3rd and 10. Now we gave the ball right back, and now the defense on the field for another 20 plays.
Right.
So maybe the offense next year stops becoming a momentum offense and just becomes a dominant offense. You know what I mean?
So innovation is in the, beauty for innovation is in the eye of the beholder, right? Some people see things and they're like, oh, that's nasty, right? And some people see it and like, oh, it's beautiful. The running game can still be beautiful. Like, I know we're in an era where everybody wants to see the ball thrown around. Heck, we saw Jack Cohn throw it around in the Fiesta Bowl. I don't know if I want to see that. Unless we just have one of those dominant quarterbacks, then okay, I might be cool with it. And I probably still wouldn't be cool with it. Like running the ball. Are we still in an era where running the ball can still be innovative in a sense?
I think the one we just like you talk about high school having these innovative type plays.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan shows you can get fresh with the run.
Facts.
His run plays are almost more exciting to watch than Jimmy throwing the football.
Well, it's a lot more exciting than Jimmy G throwing the
I mean, because it's like he might send a guy in motion and just quick give it to him, and he takes off around the edge for 10 yards.
I would rather keep up with Jimmy G's dating life than his passing, dude.
Seriously. So if Kyle Shanahan is making the run look sexy, I know it still has some value in the game somewhere.
Yeah.
Because think about it, San Francisco's beating teams they're not supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're just going to run it, and y'all can't do nothing about it. we don't need a better quarterback right now because our defense is solid,
Right.
i.e., what Georgia was in college. We're not paying those guys, so I think it'll take a little time before we get to dominant all across the board defensively. But because I do think we'll have a top 5 defense next year, the run is even at a more of a value for Tyler Buckner. Because sometimes we're going to get early turnovers.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just need Tyler just run it in.
Yeah.
Kill some time, and then that's how you get those games where other teams are scoring less than 10. Because we got the ball on our side, we got turnovers, and Tyler's just managing the game.
Juan Lozada taps in with this. Appreciate you, Juan. We need to find us a Percy Harvin, Debo Samuel, Tyreek Hill, and run more pistol. And look, that's the reason I brought that up. That's what Cam touched on. Like, go find that dude.
Yeah.
Right? That you can't, we measure 40 times and all of these different things, but what you can measure is the creativity and artistry in those 3 guys. Like, the ability to make you miss, the ability to catch the ball from the slot, the ability to run a post, the ability to take a handoff or a pitch, just to get the ball in your hands, all of these different type of ways, and you have the ability to make big plays from different areas on the field. Notre Dame hasn't had that since, of course, you go back to Rocket. That's going to be the archetype for everybody when they think about that in Notre Dame. But Notre Dame hasn't really had that type in a long time offensively to be able to give Tommy a chance to be innovative and say, man, I have to get the ball in his hands. I have to find a way to get the ball in his hands. I mean, you think about what Lou Holtz did. Lou Holtz would literally have Ricky Waters lined up in the slot and the Rocket at running back, and then would flip them the very next play.
I just switch, yeah.
Just switch, y'all switch. You go to the spot, Ricky, you go. We're gonna pitch it to you this time, or we're gonna.
And then we might throw it this time,
Right.
You never know.
And that's just crazy, but that's the type of versatility offensively that really leads to innovation. Because just because they were running the option, people didn't think Lou Holtz was innovative. He was very innovative within his
personnel.
Team. Yes, with personnel.
And we got that personnel over here.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of identity. You have to have we know we got a Styles, we know we got a Braden Lindsay and a Chris Tyree all on the same team.
Yeah.
If we can't turn one of them into a Tyree, then it's just a disservice to everybody because that's production. Chris Tyree, I thought was a perfect game plan in the first half because you saw him catch it, run it, do everything.
Yeah, I gotta bring this up to you. These 2 comments. John, hey, what's up, John? Thank you for tapping in, man. If the defense was solid in the Fiesta Bowl and held OK State to the season average of 20 points, but you feel differently about the 68 attempts at 35 points. I already know what you're about to say.
Yeah, but
Yo, you were texting me during the game, like, are we really about to let this dude throw the ball 60 times?
Yeah, I could because it was so out of the blue. We could nobody would have guessed we would have went into that game doing that.
Right.
It wasn't like we didn't guess it like, oh, that's a genius. I would have never did. It was more like we know that we would never rely on Jack Cohn to pull us out in the January 6th bowl game. That's what I felt. I don't know if you felt like that, but I'm like, we got enough guys where it'll be a good team effort. No, we said this is Jack or nothing. And I just felt like we have so many more pieces in the team that we're better than.
Right.
So, no, I don't feel good, even if we won with 68 attempts, because Tyler didn't get any of them, and Jack's not going to be here next year.
Bad 2011 GT, throwing the ball 68 times was innovative.
Just too smart for our own good.
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast, really breaking down how a national championship team at Notre Dame will ultimately look like. So here's the question of the day. And I'm going to ask you first, and we want LL Nation to tag in. Let us know what you think. I'm going to give you 7. Okay, we know Alabama and Georgia usually have 18, 19, 20. I'm giving Notre Dame 7 5-stars. Tell me where you want these 5 stars to be placed positionally.
Quarterback.
Okay.
Receiver.
Okay.
Linebacker. Corner. And a right tackle. That's 5, right?
That's 5. You got 2 left.
Oh, I got 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, we hitting 7? Oh, shit. I'm getting. Oh, we rich. We rich.
You found out it's extras. You ate your plate. You found out it's some left
We had
over.
2 hanging on the roster somewhere. Okay, definitely. I would love to have 2 5-star secondary players.
So you want 2 DBs, or you want a safety and a DB?
I'll do safety DB.
Okay.
You know, maybe we can mix match or something. I gotta have a 5-star linebacker. So where am I? I got 1 more left.
You got a quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, DB, and you just
tackle. I said a tackle.
Tackle. So you got.
And the last one we need is a ultimate defensive end, and we're straight.
So we have to compile over 4 classes: a 5-star quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, defensive back, tackle, and DN.
And we win every year.
And we good. That's what it is.
Because that's the areas that could change life if we just turned it up a little bit. That's why we don't need 20. That's why I know we're good. We don't need 20. We just need just a little higher. Just a little higher.
Tweak.
That's Fauci just a little better is what, 15 sacks?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. 15 sacks from Fauci. That's a totally
first of all, 15 sacks from Fauci is a new record.
It's a new record, but
he breaks the record at 15.
But he had 13 last year. So that's what I'm saying. It's just a little turn up. The Brandon Joseph is the closest thing to a 5-star replacing a 5-star. Cam Hart's damn near you're playing like a 5-star. And then one of them linebackers gonna pop up. I think it's too many to even. I don't even know how many we got now. We got more linebackers than O linemen and D linemen.
Yo, that dude is ordering linebackers like all you can eat pancakes at IHOP.
Yeah. Like, I wonder what he's telling them at this point. Like, is he telling them that you're gonna play, or is it just dog eat dog world at this point? He gonna treat you like how the Joker did. He gonna say, "All right, I can only take one guy, so figure it out."
Let's see some of these compilations, man, and breakdowns for some of LL Nation. All right, let's get to our girl D Beezy. 2 wide receivers, quarterback, running back, defensive end, safety, and DB.
2 receivers is what that Alabama Ohio State kind of got going on.
Yeah.
Clemson, when they was nice, they had T. Higgins and the other dude on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm saying we need one because I think one it'll be enough problems because our quarterback is a 5-star, so he finna just get busy too.
Weez and the Juice says quarterback, defensive tackle, 2 wide receivers, cornerback, safety, linebacker.
Yep.
All right. Matt 2011 GT, quarterback, 2 wide receivers, cornerback, linebacker, safety.
Why is nobody saying double secondary when that's been our biggest issue for years?
Yeah, that's true.
We've been putting league receivers in there. It's just,
he pretty much agrees with you, except he throws in the running back instead of the safety.
We already your running back you.
Let's see.
Or if we just being simple, I'll be like,
says the year we get 7 5-stars, my kids will get to see it. Well, first of all, you have to realize this. Notre Dame, I think, is going to have 4 on the roster this year. Jalen Sneed and Emil Wagner got bumped up to 5 stars.
Ooh.
So that's 2 that's coming.
That's 2 down. Yeah, that's 2 down.
I'm not sure. Was Tyler a 4 or 5?
I think it was a 4.
I think it was 4.
It was a high 4. Like, could have been a 5 if he went to another camp or
I
something.
think, if I'm not mistaken, Notre Dame's going to have either 3 or 4 on the roster just this year.
Yeah.
They're getting 3.
At least in 2023. Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be 6 on the roster in 23. So getting the 7 5-stars is on the roster. That's not hard.
No.
It's not hard. You're not getting to the 18, 19, 20 that Georgia has or Alabama, but 7 is not hard. When you recruit, when you actually put in the work, like Marcus Freeman and his staff are actually doing. See, we've become so immune to it and just accepting what Brian Kelly said and the lack of work he put in to go get 5 stars, then it's just like, yeah, you can't get 5 stars in Notre Dame.
Yeah, you came accepting with what was comfortable.
Yeah. Just watch. I mean, literally, look. Marcus Freeman, we talked about this. He walked into IMG, something that Brian Kelly would never do.
He'll pass by it, fly over it.
He walked into IMG, sat down, and literally said, I want all 4 of your 5 stars. All 4. Notre Dame's never done that. Never. Everybody knows what's at IMG. Everybody knows what's up there. Brian Kelly would have never walked in. He would have walked in there and said, man, what do you think about that kid? Like, he's from Chicago, so maybe he'll want to stay in the Midwest. Maybe we can get him.
Yeah. They'll ask him just like this. What do you think our chances are if we offered him?
Yeah.
So if they say no, they just won't offer him. They won't even talk to him.
Right. And Marcus Freeman's like, man, look,
he already got an offer, and now we can talk about something.
We're going to offer him. And then
we gonna see
all the other questions. Yeah, we'll answer all of the other stuff down the road. Man, look, 7 is not hard at all. David Flores, quarterback, wide receiver, 2 DTs, 2 CBs, and an outside linebacker. All right.
Man, I almost want to do 5 D linemen.
Almost. I thought you were going to ask me for another one. Like, can I get 8? Donnie Cruz says his breakdown is DT, cornerback, wide receiver, running back, and safety linebacker. David Knight said Bo Bauer may surprise us, and if not, he won't play much.
Shit,
look, man,
about surprising, he better keep up.
Hey, man, look.
You better keep up.
Hey, man, look. And I know we play it for like one specific reason. But look, bro, if the linebackers are gonna look like this after dealing with tempo, they're not gonna get a lot of snaps.
He prepared us really well. He had us ready for the high tempo. He had us ready. Like, it wasn't schematically. It was the little details of we missed tackles. We didn't win the 50-50 balls. Those little details, and we need to make sure we do that better, and it's on us. And going into the next season, I just want to make sure I focus on the fundamentals, the little things like.
JD, that's it. I just want you to look at his hair. He was so frazzled.
Yeah. His hair was still messed
all
up.
Over the place. Like, yo, yeah. If they don't change, if Bo Bauer, Kaiser, and Bertrand, if they don't change the ability to break down, make plays,
it's just gonna be too easy to not want to put all them superhumans you done recruited in the other class. They're gonna give you the benefit of doubt and the respect of being a senior or a seniority position. But you only got a couple times where they be like, man, call them dogs in here.
You know the scene and Get Rich or Die Trying when that cat 50 had just got the whip, the 500.
Yeah.
The white joint. And he pulled up next to dude and pulled off of him with the face and that GIF. That's gonna be Marcus Freeman pulling off on them. You know what I'm saying?
Stragglers.
Yeah.
On them guys talking about we was prepared, we just couldn't make the play. He gonna
right. He's gonna pull off like, all right.
And it's not gonna be his fault.
LL Nation, what GIF is Marcus Freeman going to be when he's watching the linebackers knowing he has youngsters that can come in and get the job done? What GIF
And
is
be like, all right.
use? He might use a Desus and Mero one too.
He said what?
He might use a Desus and Mero GIF too.
Yeah. The which one? The
one where Desus falls back in his chair like,
oh yeah.
or the one where he falls off the chair. Like, really, dude? Like, all right. Like, here we go. I got something for you.
But I am excited because if it's not like it was before, we can only hope for it to be better.
Yeah, let's see. Anthony Solomon, 2 wide receivers, quarterback, safety, left tackle, right tackle. So he wants both edges to be protected. So look, man, it's funny because the one position that has not come up yet is something Notre Dame is really known for. I've yet to see someone
a tight end.
Like,
our fan base sick of talking to tight ends. They said, "Oh, those guys, we got a whole closet full of them. We don't need no more tight ends."
I'm gonna go different, bro. I'm gonna go different. I don't need a 5-star quarterback. Not a quarterback.
Okay.
I can get a 4, a really good 4. I can get a really good 4. So I don't need that 5-star quarterback. I definitely need.
But why not need a 4 when 5s have been damn near winning it except this year?
Because I said I don't need a 4. Because I'm talking about me being innovative.
Oh, okay.
I don't need a 4. Because if I get I don't need a 5. If I get a 4 and I get like the innovation of having a Percy Harvin type and, you know, a Rocket Ishmael type, then I'm flip-flopping back and forth. And
quarterback don't matter then.
Yeah, defensively, you have to figure out where 2 people are each and every play. You
Chasing.
know what I'm saying? Now, like, dude, this 4-star is going to be better just from the scheme, getting the ball out. I need a 4-star to be accurate, and I need him to be a leader. I need a left tackle, and I need 2 5-stars on that front.
Yeah,
offensively. So that's 4, and then after that, just I need that D end. I need the linebacker, and I need that defensive tackle. Because on the back end, you can go, dude, Kobe Bryant and Ahmad Gardner from Cincinnati. Dude, you talking about 2 first-round draft picks, neither were 5-stars. And I think DBs, you can find speed. There's tons of speed in this country.
Tons of speed
in this country, especially now.
Yeah, you're going to find more speed than anything else.
Yeah. So I would trust my innovation a whole lot more and make sure that I put a lot of it around my quarterback to help make him better. Because I don't want all that pressure on my quarterback. Like, you can win with all the pressure being on that 5-star, but I would much rather put a lot of talent around a 4-star and rock out. Just being able to innovate and be creative.
It's just hard, though, because we're talking about what are you trying to win?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen, for instance, the talent of both teams that have won championships, from the Ohio States to the Clemsons back when they started.
Right.
We've seen that these quarterbacks, that these Justin Fields, these Trevors, these CJs, these big-time players, they always are the end of the season for a reason. Yes, those teams are good around them, but there's got to be a guy, a trigger man, that's highly touted running the show. I think the Bennett kid has made it feel like you can do it without it, but it's such an outlier because you're not going to get 25 stars
Hold
on no
on.
regular team.
I didn't say I wanted Stetson Bennett, though.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I said. I said a 4-star, bro.
Okay. So what's up?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is if I don't get Dante Moore,
Okay.
and let's talk about it because
Okay.
he committed to Oklahoma, but Jackson Arnold basically that's his like hold in place commitment.
Okay.
Like I have a commitment because he understands he's dealing with a loaded class. So I have somebody that I can commit to now. I'm going to go ahead and put that commitment in place, but I'm still taking officials. Well, if you're still taking officials, you're still looking.
Of course.
So Notre Dame's going to keep recruiting you. Texas A&M, they're going to keep recruiting you. But you already have that in place, but you know you can flip at any moment if you want to.
If you want to.
If I don't get Dante Moore and I go get a Jackson Arnold, who's a 4-star, I'm cool with that. I don't want Stetson Bennett. That's, man, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Please, no, that's not what I'm saying. I do not want a Stetson Bennett.
So then you would want Tyler Buckner then.
Right? Say it again.
So you would want Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, I feel like, but once
he's
again,
better than Stetson.
If you put enough around Tyler Buckner, why would you feel like you couldn't win?
I said the same thing. Because I think Tyler Buckner's better than Drew Pine. And I think that's more my opinion than what they actually feel like at school. If they really think it's a quarterback competition, maybe I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because this guy was a third string guy, meaning that the freshman came in was over him. So I don't know.
Yo, man. I mean, things are different now. Because there are a bunch of 5-star quarterbacks back in the day, like Peyton Manning. Like they just didn't win national championships. Now the landscape has changed a lot.
Yeah, so you're not getting drafted if you don't win a championship.
So,
like literally, like you're not getting drafted if you're not winning a national championship. Peyton Manning wasn't close to no championship at Tennessee, was he?
You know what's tough? You know what messed everything up?
What?
The year Nick Saban said, I'm going to start going after 5-star quarterbacks. Because Nick was cool. Nick was cool with the A.J. McCarrons. And
that's only recent then. That's like recent. 3 years ago.
Yeah. That's when the game got real.
So during the time with the Tim Tebow and Alabama battles and stuff, it was pretty much what we all kind of see football as. But yeah, I mean, when I'm telling you, the moment it happened, it changed specifically was when Tua threw it to Devontae Smith. And that's when the price of 5-star quarterbacks went up.
The price went up.
And that's when everyone like, I'm going young.
The brick went up.
And I'm going young. It was like, oh, we're all going young. I mean, you're not about to just toss this two freshmen out there.
Right.
In a national championship game and pull it off. Yeah, everybody after that, what happened after that? Trevor Lawrence came. Tua was a young guy after young guy popping up. Ohio State went younger. Dwayne's first year, Justin Fields' first year. So it's like.
So that's what you want on your roster, right? You want a guy like Drew Pine, which is pretty much Mac Jones. No. Listen to me. I'm not talking about talent. I'm just talking about a veteran guy that's going to stick around, right? And if he gets the opportunity in a bridge year, in between 5 stars of big-time quarterbacks, that's his opportunity. But you have enough talent around him to where you can keep everything moving. And there you go. And then here comes Bryce Young right behind him.
Yep.
You know, so quarterback room should look like that. You should always have a young hot
gun
coming in And then you
And then
have
the
a
guy that's
veteran
been
there.
battle tested, got some time here and there, can
Yeah.
show him the ropes, get him
Yeah.
on speed early, and not. I'm not gonna say be a threat, but be motivating. Be a collective unit. I think most teams like Alabama shown a perfect example. All three of their quarterbacks had to have some type of good relationship to
Yeah.
make that work.
Yeah.
They had to. They coach must have been like, look, all y'all going to the league, so just be cool, man. Get better together.
Dude, Uncle Bob, I see what you're saying in the chat. I don't want to bring up all your comments. Donnie Cruz, I see what you're saying about Keaton Slovis. Look, we're not about to revisit that Slovis thing, man. Look, he's going to look bad behind Kenny Pickett at Pitt.
Yeah, because they losing a lot.
So but I will say this. Uncle Bob is talking about, let me go up to his first one. He thinks Drew Pine is going to win the quarterback competition. Look, man, if you have a guy like Lorenzo Styles that can take the top off the defense, and your quarterback is Drew Pine, you're wasting his speed.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we saw Braden Lindsey and receivers 3 yards past defensive backs, and they had to slow down because Jack Cohn literally couldn't get the ball out there. Like when you
We
have
saw
speed,
from the first game with Kevin Austin,
man,
and Jack Cohn. Kevin Austin was given chance. We was like, oh, okay, we know he can't get it down the field, but he gonna not throw it out of bounds and give his guys a chance. That's his arm strength.
Yeah.
So that was a Florida State game. That was the first impression of Jack Cohn we've had. So we always knew he couldn't throw it super deep. But if he's out there over two guys that are supposedly better throwers, I don't know where the change would be.
Now, this is the thing, because somebody brought up Tim Tebow. Let me ask you a question. It might be unpopular. Did Tim Tebow develop as a quarterback at Florida?
No.
He was just surrounded by some very innovative and good players. Let's keep it a buck.
He wasn't asked to develop, though.
He wasn't asked to develop.
His year one looked like year 4.
He ran a system, and this is all great systems. Whether you go to basketball, you talk about the triangle offense. You talk about the West Coast offense with Bill Walsh. You understand the talent that was on Bill Walsh's offense?
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
It made the West Coast offense look real good. To understand the talent of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan running the triangle, Kobe Bryant and Shaq. I haven't seen anybody else successfully run the triangle. So you can do.
Well, you can't play basketball like that no more because guys are way too selfish.
Yeah. But my point is, Urban Meyer has a system, but Urban Meyer puts uber talented players in certain spots in his system. And the system just goes. He doesn't need a great quarterback.
That's why he was rocking with JT Barrett. Not that JT's not great. I think JT is great. But when you got Mike Thomas and Zeke,
yeah,
I mean, close your eyes and have fun.
Yeah.
Zeke literally beat Alabama by himself. We haven't seen a running back do that since.
Man. Dude. Once again, Alex B. He said Steve Kerr runs a formation of the triangle with Clay and Steph.
With the greatest two shooters of all time.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right. So, dude,
see, like the team, even though
he was a great leader, like that's what you need. JT Barrett, great
leader.
Wait
a minute. Was he a great leader?
Who, Tim Tebow? I'll give him that. Bro.
You know how all the problems on the Florida football team, a great leader would let all those problems happen on the football team.
Look,
like that.
Stop, man.
Do you think they should have 30 for 30?
Dude.
Aaron Hernandez was on that team. You talking about Tim Tebow was a great leader?
Problems follow Urban Meyer everywhere he goes. I'm not putting that on Tim Tebow.
That's true. Oh, okay.
That's the Urban Meyer culture.
Wait, but Tim Tebow was Mr. Take a Knee Jesus, remember?
Man, look.
And the whole time he had people like,
look, what does that mean? See, that's overblown by the media. The media could have done the same thing with Cam when he was at Notre Dame. Cam McDaniel was just as religious and
we didn't have the problems on Notre Dame like Florida
my
did.
point is the media could have covered Cam McDaniel the same way they covered Tim Tebow. He was
no. I'm just saying they boosted Tim Tebow's religious leadership, but I'm just saying the team around him wasn't on the same stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, how is your leadership affecting your team around you when they doing wild shit?
Well, look, I'll say on the field.
Okay, fair. I see that.
On the field, his leadership showed up. That off the field stuff, like, come on, man. Just think about it. Like, let's be real. The backup quarterback was Cam Newton, bro. Don't talk to me about system, none of that. The backup quarterback at Florida at that time was Cam Newton.
And he left.
Man, we got to keep it funky. Hey, you know what time it is. As always, we spend it different. We give you great guests each and every week. And today we have another one. And this is a backfield week at Notre Dame. Yesterday we had on Cam McDaniel. And today we welcome to the show former Notre Dame running back, NFL running back, CJ Prosise to the Lucky Lefty podcast. CJ, what's up, my dude?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
My guy, see the hair looking good, man. I'm trying to get it like you, man.
Finally getting there, man. It took a while.
Took a while. I was there from the beginning.
So, CJ, today's show, we've been talking about what a national championship team at Notre Dame is going to look like when they finally hoist the trophy.
Yeah.
Like, what is the makeup going to look like? And it's three teams that we pull all the time that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The 2012 team.
Yep.
Right? The 2015-16 team.
Right.
You know, where you guys had Malik early on and then Shaun came in. And then the 2018 team that made it to the college football playoffs. Like, those are the three teams we look at and we say, yo, okay, what was missing from each one of those teams that could have put them over the hump that might give us a clue to what a national championship team at Notre Dame would look like? Now, I think most people you talk to will ultimately agree that the most talented team was the team you all had.
For sure.
Like, everybody we talked to from that team, everybody from that team that we've talked to has said, yo, we had a ridiculous amount of talent on that team. So what do you think was the missing piece from that team that ultimately would have gotten you guys over the top?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, we can talk about injuries and stuff, and you know, that was obviously played a huge part.
Huge.
But I think at the end of the day, you know, it's like, you know, I never want to put the blame on nobody, but it's like defense wins championships. You feel me? Right. And at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. You know, you got to be able to get the big stops, especially, you know, deep plays down the field. That's really where it's, you know, it changes the game at. So, you know, I never think it was the players. You know, I never think it was any type of deficiency on the players. You know, didn't have the players. We always had the players. We always get the skills. But, you know, maybe sometimes the scheme wasn't where it needed to be. Or, you know, maybe we weren't in the right, you know, we weren't making the right calls at the right time. And, you know, I think that kind of came down to it as well. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, defense wins championships. You know, the defense got to be able to stop them. You know, they can't be able to put up 30 points a game. And then
what a win.
We gotta, you know, offense, we can do enough. We can put up, you know, 35, 40 points. But, you know, if the defense can't get those critical stops, it's going to be tough.
Now, you was in Seattle, so you got to see the essence of what a defensive focused team kind of is. I know they got rust, but you guys take pride in the defense up there. So what was it that you saw there that kind of changed your perspective on what we were missing maybe defensively?
You know, I feel like our defense never, you know, the 2012 team, the defense had an identity. Like it was like, TBD, BIA. They had their sayings. They had everything. They had players. But they had the energy and they had the culture. I feel like our defense, we had the players, but we never had the culture of a defense that was like they had. When I went to Seattle, it was like LOB. They knew Legion of Boom. They like it was.
They try to live up to that.
They knew what they're coming with, and that's on an everyday basis. Like it wasn't about just like going out there hitting people. Like it was LOB means love our brother. Like also means like every day.
Okay, yeah.
It means like every day you bring in that energy. And it's not just on game day; it's every day. So, I think that culture and that we didn't have that at Notre Dame. It was more just,
do your job.
It was sometimes it was hype, but it wasn't like it was just basically do your job. Like, but yeah, with a defense, it's always about like a culture, and like that 2012 team really had that defensive culture with like I know Diaco really instilled it. At the time, it was always, BIA, which means like, best in America. So it's like, you don't ever stop. There's no loafing. TBD, ball deflection. So it was the defense always hype when like they made plays, and that wasn't always.
Oh, it was always hype.
When with that 2015 team.
So that identity, you're talking about assistant coaches when you're talking about that identity that Bob Diaco brought. With Marcus Freeman now taking over the program, it seems like that he's taking the forefront or the responsibility of establishing the identity. And saying the identity of this entire team is going to flow from me. Do you get that? Do you sense that? And when you're trying to build a culture, do you feel like ultimately that's going to be one of the things that leads Notre Dame to getting over that hump?
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. I think he's going to bring in players that Kelly might not have been able to bring in as well, just as far as just relating a little bit better. Sometimes Coach Kelly can kind of. We all know he could.
Yeah, we all know he could be.
He can seem like a politician instead of a coach sometimes. So, I think as far as like recruiting wise, I think guys gonna be able to relate to Freeman a little bit more. I haven't personally met him, so I can't really speak too much on like how he is as a guy. But from what I've seen, the guys love him. The locker room loves him, and that's really what matters. Because when the guys want to play for you, that's really what makes it count.
Now, being in the league, you talk about love your brother, you playing for your guys. How much of wanting to play for the coaching staff affected how the team's success was, in your opinion? Do you think that if we really loved playing for Coach Kelly, like that was our guy, do you think we would have maybe get over the hump on some of them games where maybe the coaching didn't matter as much? We kind of just was like, we doing it for him.
I think with as far as us, in the landscape, what the landscape was when we was in college, I don't think the coach really was as much as of a factor as he is now. I think, guys now, you see guys transferring just for a coach, and that wasn't really the case when we was in college. Now it was like, everybody always told me in high school, they was like, hey, don't pick no school for your coach. Pick it for, the school you want to go to that school. So, I think, I feel like the guys that chose Notre Dame wanted to be there, and we played for that ND symbol. So, I don't, I can't say, if it was Coach Kelly or not that, we didn't get over those big humps or we didn't want, guys didn't put in that extra effort. But I think, as far as the landscape of college football now, it's like, it's
you almost got to be a player's coach.
You definitely got to be a player's coach now because, guys, you paying guys now to come and play for you at this point. You got to get ahead.
We friends. We ain't even on the same relationship.
Yeah, it's like it's not even. It's a professional relationship now, so it's like it's all different.
Can you imagine going back to when you were being recruited out of Virginia? Can you imagine having the opportunity to have control of your name, image, and likeness, and being able to present yourself, even if social media was at the point that it is today, to present yourself as a recruit, as a junior, as a senior, and set up that type of opportunity as far as NIL going into college?
It's really crazy to think about, how far we've come. It's wild because it's like, I mean, it feels like I was just in college, and now now it's a whole new ball game. Like it's nothing that like literally I'm like the ancient ages of college football almost at this point. It's like, and I was just there 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's, times have really changed. And I mean, I know if I was in high school, and I would have loved to maybe been able to take advantage of all these opportunities. I mean, we even see middle schoolers trying to take advantage of this opportunity, and it's like, I mean, why wouldn't you? Because especially as a parent, you're gonna like you see that money, and you can, I mean, you're gonna find a way to try to get that money from your kid getting, from NIL deals. I mean,
it's being good at football,
being good at football. I mean, anything, any sport, it's like, I mean, it's crazy to really think about. I mean, especially like basketball too. Like these kids, they're growing up. They get ranked high.
In sixth grade, if you ain't ranked number one in sixth grade, you're not going to the league.
Basically high school, you can almost be making a couple $100,000 a year. I mean, and that's just how
better than regular people with everyday jobs. Like
everyday job, man. And it's crazy to think about. Like that's really like where we've come in. I mean, less than really 2 years almost. Like
Lucky Lefty podcast with CJ Prosise right here. Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire at Overtime Malik. So we talk about this, and I want to go back to that 2014 season, right? So it was a tough season. Injuries, you guys were really talented and young and deep. I want to go to the end of the season, that USC game.
Oh, he was cooking.
The USC game, going to the LSU game in the Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
Into the next season or the off season. Like what clicked? Because I talk to Malik all the time and he tells me like, yo, we knew we were good in 14.
Mm-hmm.
Just certain things happened. And once we went to that off season, it was like, yo, we knew.
Yeah.
We had a squad coming back. And we talked to Cam McDaniel yesterday, who left after the 14 season. And Cam was like, yeah, when I left, I knew they were going to have a squad the next year.
Yeah.
So what was it that clicked, like from that awful performance against USC, going to the big win against LSU, and then going into the off season? What clicked for you all that made you all ultimately the great team that went into that next season?
I really think it was just that confidence. Like we just really, I think, I mean, I mean, it was that year. I mean, everybody's going to kind of their senior years, junior years. Guys like Will, Smooth, they was going into their junior year, so they was really their prime years. Ronnie, I mean Nick, all the guys we had like that. McGlinchey. You can just go and say so many guys, but it's like I think we really had that confidence. Like the year before, we were still working things out. Like we had injuries that kind of, I know that losing Joe during the Navy game was huge, and they kind of just like kept going from there. And then and after Florida State, that hurt too. But like I think just the confidence, and we came back in that offseason, it was just different. Like I know offensively it was different. Like we had this mindset like, yo, there's nobody that can stop us. Like we got every weapon on the field. We got running backs, we got receivers, we got quarterbacks. I mean, our O-line is the best in the country, literally probably one of the
best in the country
ever come out of college in my O-line. So, it was crazy. So we had that confidence, and we knew we had something for next year. We just knew we just had to hold on to it.
And then stay healthy.
Just stay healthy. That was the main thing. But we knew we had something for sure.
Like that first game, you guys lose Torian.
Yeah.
With the ACL.
First drive, first
damn carry. Jesus.
Yeah.
Like when he goes down, are you guys thinking like, oh, here we go again with the injuries?
It was so early. I didn't even know he was hurt.
He
had walked off, and then CJ came in.
That early on, we didn't really peep it at that, what was meant to be that season. But I mean, from that game, man, it was we felt it. We felt the energy after that game, and then kind of from there, it was just like boom. Every week, it was like road bump. It was like speed bump. Somebody else get hit. Somebody else go down. I mean, we were still winning. It was like, bro, we still this good, and we we losing starters every week. I mean, you know, not just for like a week or two. We losing them for the whole season. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, rarely rarely just see all like new injury every week, just end of the season injury. It's crazy.
And that speaks a lot to, as well as like we talked about Marcus Freeman bringing in athletes. You know, the game is just changing. The guys that can do everything. And I've always wanted to ask you, because you came in as a safety.
Yeah.
What was the thing that you would tell these guys that are coming in that don't really have a position? What did you do to keep yourself focused? Because I mean, you started at safety, ended at running back, and then got drafted at running back.
Yeah.
So what was that like going through the changes? How did you find your way? You know what I mean? Like, what was it that the coaches said? Because right now, Marcus Freeman is drafting a team full of CJs.
Yeah.
Like we got guys that can do it all.
I mean, and that's what you want, man. You want guys who are versatile, and I think for guys who coming in, you just want to. I would say just be a sponge, like just learn as much as you can. Both sides of the ball. I mean, shoot, I was trying to pick up as much as I can on the defense, even when I was knowing I was going over the offense. So it's just like be a sponge and learn the game of football. Learn as much as you can about the game of football, and that's just gonna make you a better player. And then once you go out there, just be a dog. You know, like at the end of the day, like you might only have this much of an opportunity, you know. And Notre Dame, it's like it's almost. I mean, and now that you're getting paid, now that people getting paid, it's really gonna be this much of opportunity. So it's gonna be like either you got your turn to do it. It might be on special teams, it might be on offense, defense, but you got that. You know, you got your opportunity to make a play. Go make a play, and just keep making them. And then from there, you know, just keep getting better. Hit the weight room, stay in shape, and you know that's it, man. Just listen to the coaches. You know, take coaching and just be dependable. You know, be able to, just be out there, man. Just play football, and that's what I think. That's the best thing to do is learn the game of football as best you can.
So, the perfect storm for me of everything that could happen to keep Notre Dame from winning a national championship was that season.
Mm-hmm.
It was like if everything went right and everybody was healthy and you don't go to Clemson and play in a monsoon.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, like Malik, I tell Malik all the time, I say, yo, every now and then I ask him, when you see Deshaun Watson in the streets, what are you going to tell him? Like, are you flat out going to tell him, I would have got you?
We would have got him. We definitely would have got him.
He might have get hurt.
Man, and that team just shows that we could have changed the history of college football winning that game in Clemson just because of the directions that we both went.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pivotal moment in college football for real because they lose that game. They not playing Alabama. And you don't hear the Deshaun Michael Jordan story from Dabo.
Exactly.
You know, they talk about Notre Dame and play, you know what I mean? Because we were winning that. We win Clemson. We're definitely winning Stanford.
Yeah.
We're definitely in the playoffs. It's just one game. I know it sounds crazy to think one game made the difference, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's really true. Like, no, that game definitely changed the course to that whole season. Because, I think, like you guys said, like, I don't know, we can't predict what had happened and when it got to the playoff. But I know if we played against Bama that year, and
it's a game.
It's a game, and that's the only thing I can promise you. I can't say what was going to happen in the fourth quarter. How it was going to come down, but I know if we play Bama that year, we it's a game, and it ain't just like it wasn't what was going to be in the past. And I think for us that would have been the biggest, but just for Notre Dame in general, like because we keep going to the playoffs and just getting smacked, like. And I'm tired of seeing the shit. So it's like, I know that if we would have got to that playoffs, it would have been a game. It wouldn't have been, it would have came down to the last. It would have
been Georgia, Alabama, like we saw this year.
Yeah, it came down to the last drive, last couple minutes, like so.
And it's crazy because like to keep the dominoes falling, that might have impacted the 2018 team.
Yeah,
because now they have a totally different vibe.
Now they're
not coming off right.
Mindset's different.
Mindset's different. Yeah, so now you have a culture there of when we get to this thing, we're gonna bang out and we can play with Bama.
Because
that's
now
amazing.
we got this monkey on our back just sitting there. Like,
Right.
every time we go through the playoffs, it's like, oh, that's an easy win almost for anybody playing. It's like, and it's not like that, man. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It's not.
Get out of this.
You gotta get out there, man. Gotta get out of it. You know?
So would you like to play in the era that you played in, or do you watch the era now and you see how players are used differently, like a Deebo Samuel with a Shanahan in San Francisco? The skill set that you had, would you like to be
He
in
is
today's
Deebo.
game more?
He just got a different name. He's CJ.
Yeah, bro. Listen, like I always seen myself as like, you know, that Deebo Samuel type. Honestly, like, you know, kind of Percy Harvin. You know, a guy. You know. I mean, that's what I was good at in college. I mean, jet sweeps. You know,
all of it. Just giving the rock
the field and just, you know, making plays. I mean, you know, obviously I got to the league and then running back is where I got drafted at. And, you know, that was what Seattle played me as. You know, I don't think, you know, sometimes the scheme didn't really fit to me, like with the player I was. So, I mean, you know, it always, it's you know, it's just luck of the draw. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I guess when you look at football, man, it's like so many things have to align, you know, for everything to be right. And then on top of that, you got to stay healthy. So, you know,
you can't even predict that.
And so, you know, I wasn't healthy. You know, I never had a long stint of games where I could just, you know, I could really prove myself. And so, you know, things never really got to work out because just because of injuries, and then of the scheme not exactly fitting how to best utilize me as a player.
You know, my favorite look. Most people will say, man, their favorite CJ Prosise highlight is the LSU touchdown in the ball
that was
game.
sweet. Yeah, that was sweet.
It was sweet. I got some other runs. Let me tell you what my favorite. This is the one I hit the rewind button on DVR the most. The 91-yarder against Georgia Tech. Let me tell you why. I don't know who that linebacker was in the hole, but you hit him with the bing bing. And I was like, yo, CJ just hit this dude with this bing bing in the hole. And I swear the safety and the cornerback swore they had the angle.
Yeah.
And then it was all of a sudden, it was like, nah, fam, it's a wrap. Like, y'all might as well give up. Like at the 50, like, y'all can just give up. It's a wrap.
Hell yeah.
Like the play before that, I had got lifted. I got lifted.
Yes, that's when they picked you up on the sideline. That thing,
it lifted me, and I'm like, man, I can't go out like that. Hey, bro, let me get the ball again, bro. I can't go out like that.
I remember that because I was like, damn, CJ, lower your shoulder.
Yeah, like, bro, I remember Coach Denton like, bro, you gotta lower your pads. You gotta lower your pads.
Because the linebacker was like this short, stocky dude.
He was like,
he was out there.
5'9", like, he was out there hitting short. He got up under me too, like, and he lifted me. I was like, oh, like I couldn't even like I was off the ground. I was like,
oh man.
I said, yeah, bro. I was like, I got to get you back from that one.
Yeah,
so I caught him in the hole. Q got the lead block, and that was all she wrote from there.
Oh,
yeah, you definitely got him back on the next play. Lucky Lefty podcast. We're talking to CJ Prosise. CJ, you know, I might as well go ahead and throw this out there now, man, because I don't know. You know, we've had a couple of your teammates on, and y'all talk a lot of trash, bro. When it comes, y'all talk a lot of ish, bro. Yeah, like I would love to be around you guys, just like in an outing. I can already tell, like, boys, the trash talking is never ended.
It's nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
Nonstop.
And based upon what Malik keeps telling me, we gotta have Ev on the show. We gotta have Ev on the show.
We gotta get Ev, Shaun,
Chris Brown, everybody.
Yeah.
So gotta get Ev.
This is the question though.
Yeah.
Because Malik talks a lot of trash. I'm just gonna preface it. He talks a lot of trash offline.
This must be 2K.
No, it's not even 2K. Malik swears he's the dopest hooper to ever walk through the door at
Oh man. Malik nice, bro. Malik nice. Ev nice too.
Ev is nice.
I think I'm the best. Obviously, I think I'm the best.
You think
I'm
you're
the best overall hooper. I'm I can't. Some days I can shoot, but some days I can't. But other days, I'm gonna get rebounds, assists, play real good defense, real team player. I'm a real team player. You know, they pick me. I'm always getting picked first because I'm a good team player.
Oh, okay. Now you always get picked
Ev
first.
think he Russ. Russ.
I told you.
I think he Russ. All right. Ev definitely think he Russ.
That's what Malik says that all the time. He swears he's Russell Westbrook.
Ev think he Russ.
And it's
DeMar-
obvious. I've
DeMar-
never seen that in person,
DeMar-
but Ev really played like Russell Westbrook in person.
really,
Like, you
like,
know, you think
full
ball
speed.
hog, okay, that's him. That shit's funny because it's so true.
It's so true, bro. That's the first person I can think about. Ev definitely played like Russ. He kind of shoot like him too. He got
And because he shoot hard. He shoots super hard like Russ. That's the funniest
Don't
shit.
forget, Tori was talking that trash too.
Tori's solid
Tori's
too.
nice.
Like Tori like me, like he a good team player. Like he gonna make shots. He gonna make the open shots, play real good defense. Like
Yeah.
Tori a good player. Jerron pretty good. Jerron just gonna pull that. He gonna pull from half
Jerron
court
think he's
sometimes. You
Steph.
don't even have to expect that. He's about 6'7", want to play guard.
Get your ass on the block, Jerron.
No, but Jerron, he got better now. I'll be playing with him still. He got better now.
Okay, nice.
Don't be just pulling from half court no more. Who else he's be out there?
Yo, VA boy, Doug, dumb nice at basketball.
Doug Cole. Doug is
That's
just a
who
straight
now-
slasher.
Jerron said Doug. That's who Jerron
Yeah.
said was
Hey, I
Doug.
remember Doug dunked on who he dunked on you and
Oh, you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me this story, Lee.
he dunked on
No,
who
because
Max?
it's always mistold. It's always mistold.
Who was it? You and Amir?
Doug, it was me and Amir, and Doug was going up. Now Doug's strong as hell,
Doug DN. He a straight DN. Like
and he came up, and I was like, I saw it, and I tried to get out. I got out the way, but Amir was under him though. That's what people don't want to say. Amir was under him. I got out the way, but he definitely dunked on both of us though. That shit
man,
was-
like he dunked. I heard he said he cocked back, banged LeBron on both of them. Like gave him the head top, everything.
Yeah, Doug's legit. I ain't gonna lie. Him and Shimbo were like that, just strong hoopers.
Strong, like you ain't. If he coming to the hole, you like, all right, bro, you got it. Like just
Yeah.
let him go.
We're definitely whooping the basketball team, 2015-16 team. If we had to put a team together, we whooping our basketball team.
I mean, they got I don't know.
It was nice. They had Jaren and
They had
stuff.
some hoopers. They had some hoopers.
They had some hoopers.
Zach,
Eric Atkins.
Jaren,
Zach August.
I don't know. They might have got us, but hey, we would have put up a good fight.
So now I have to be honest because I blame your squad for the current state of Notre Dame basketball. And I'll tell you why. There's no way you guys should have let Jaden Ivey get away from that basketball program and end up at Purdue. Like he was hooping with you guys the majority of the time. Malik hooped with him.
Was it Jalen Iden?
Jaden Ivey, Coach Ivy's son,
Oh yeah,
who's going crazy at Purdue.
yeah.
Notre Dame didn't even recruit.
Wow.
And his mom, the head coach of the women's team.
Dang, that's crazy.
It's your fault, Malik. You used to hoop with him. I blame you. You didn't recruit him.
I thought that was a slam dunk pick.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this is the easiest recruitment ever.
right? Layup. They blew the fast break layup on that one.
Man.
Huge one, bro.
So what's the one recruit you remember that came in that you guys hosted that ultimately ended up choosing another school that you like watched and was like, man, I remember when he came and we hosted that dude.
Now, I wouldn't say it chose another school, but I would say that like I think I'm pretty sure he came to Notre Dame and he left and went somewhere else. But now he balling. Jalen Guyton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Guyton came to Notre Dame and like you wouldn't even recognize him. And
it shocked everybody.
shocked everybody.
I turned on the TV. I'm like, Guyton, that couldn't be. That
Yeah,
couldn't
something
be.
it can't be. And I see he literally on the Chargers balling. I'm like,
Right.
out of nowhere, like that really shocked me because he really went from like
Man, he was down bad. Let's
Down
just put
bad,
it out
you know.
there. He was down bad at Notre Dame.
right.
And he was like there for a cup of coffee. You know how they say you was the other team for a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
He was literally there for a cup of coffee. And when he was practicing, it was like you didn't really see nothing. You was like, okay, he just,
Right.
But now he's catching big third downs against for Justin Herbert. He catching game touch. I couldn't believe it.
He definitely figured it out. I mean, you love to see stuff like that because it's like, always like, everybody coming to Notre Dame ain't gonna it's not gonna fit. They're not gonna fit the culture. But for the people to leave, that they leave and they can go and figure out what they, figure their stuff out, man, that's awesome to see. Like, especially that because, he was definitely down bad. And, you guys leave Notre Dame and they kind of fall through the cracks. And it's like, man, you feel so bad. But then you see him, you also see the other side of it where it's like him, he literally was down bad and he figured it all out. Like, yeah.
So good for him, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So before we let you go, we always do something called this or that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we're going for yours, of course, it has to be DMV style, right?
Yeah.
You're from the Virginia area, so we got to ask you these questions. First of all, we ask everybody this. Is just a question general for the podcast. Chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Already. That's my running back right there.
Yeah. Even though we ain't messing no raisins.
Go or hip hop?
Hip hop.
All right. In the state of Virginia, Iverson or Vic?
Man, that's
come on out. Come on out.
That's literally my two idols, like right there. You can like dang, but I mean, growing up for me is Vic. I mean, obviously, like Iverson is like the Virginia. I mean, when you think of Virginia, you think of Iverson. So, but Vic, growing up for me, that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Vic.
So let me extend a little further on that because most people know Ivo for basketball. Was he that legendary on the football field, man?
Right.
No. This is why I'm asking because I'm from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So people really can't understand how legendary Derrick Rose is here. Like people outside of Chicago might think like, oh, okay, he's big, but like, no, you have no clue.
What he really was,
in Chicago. So like being from Virginia, like how was he on the football, like watching him on the football field? Like, do you really feel like, yo, this dude is bananas?
Yeah, so I ain't never get to see him on the field. Like I seen tape of him and stuff, but my trainer is like the 757, Virginia Beach area. That's where you getting elite athletes. I mean, I'm not from there, but you getting elite athletes every year from that area. And Iverson was the elite of the elite. Like so the football team, football down there is damn. I mean, it's like talented as Texas type, down that area. So Texas, the big states and stuff. So like Iverson was down there dominating, like playing quarterback. I think he was a quarterback, punt returner, kick returner. He's doing everything. He had like 20 touchdowns. And from what I hear, he was beyond the truth. I mean, he could have easily went anywhere. But they say, when they talk about Vic, it's a whole nother game as far as football. Like he was, man was different.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep it VA. Yeah. Malice or Pusha T?
Pusha.
All right. Timberland or Pharrell?
Pharrell.
All right.
Okay.
Favorite spot to eat after a game in South Bend?
Yeah. Everybody know this one. JJ's. Everybody know JJ's. That's the spot.
That 10 piece easy.
You getting the 10? Like, look, what's your order? Because I already know what Malik's order was.
I get the fish and the wings with the extra crack sauce on there.
Yeah. And it's the way to go, man, because that's nothing better than a meal like that right after.
That's it right there. That's all you need.
All right. Certified lover boy or Donda?
Man, I got CLB, man.
Yeah, CJ, he got his family man. You love him boy now, man.
Yeah,
y'all cats, boy. I tell you, this 2015 squad, y'all some Drake lovers, boy. Y'all love that cat Drake, boy.
Yeah.
Y'all love that cat Drake. So, just repping the DMV area, man, and you talking about the talent that's there. Notre Dame is actually going after like 3 defensive tackles and defensive ends in that area this year. And I think all 3 of them are like top 50 in the 2023 class, which is like crazy. But just Notre Dame getting back into that area, especially going after that position. When you were being recruited, how big was Notre Dame? And do you still think the brand resonates the same way along the coast?
I think when I was getting recruited, it was like Notre Dame was like a myth almost. Like it was like nobody's going to Notre Dame from Virginia. Like you ain't never hear about nobody going from Notre Dame from my area. I definitely wanted to say I kind of created a pipeline. From my memory, there's only a couple of guys before me that was even came out Virginia area to Notre Dame. None of them are really from where I was from, like the area I was even from. So I want to say I definitely kind of created a pipeline for guys, just to see Notre Dame and really put their minds on it. Like even I think I love that Chris Tyree's up there. That's my boy from he lived like 30 minutes from me, so it's like.
Oh really?
Yeah, he lived
so
like.
You are direct. So you're the reason. You gotta say you're the reason. Then.
I want to say so, but I want to say so, but nah. I'm just proud that guys are taking the opportunity to go and better themselves, educationally, network, introduce yourself to a whole new network that you're not gonna. You might get somewhere else, but it's not gonna be as bad. And it's like just as many people as you can get with the Notre Dame network. So I'm just proud that Notre Dame is in my area. Looking at these guys and giving them a shot that they probably wouldn't might not have had before. Because a lot of times when people from we all see it. Guys they have the talent, but they don't have the mental, or they missing something. And getting to Notre Dame and kind of getting that structure as far as like it's not gonna life not gonna be easy. Notre Dame's gonna make it tough on you, and I think that's something that really helped everybody who's graduated from there. That is really something special to be a part of.
I think, man, Chris Tyree should probably be used more like you were used.
Yeah, for sure. No,
man, just line him up.
Because he's too fast. Like, you can't teach speed. Like, at the end of the day, you can't teach speed. And you want to get speed on the edges. Like, you get speed on the edges, get in the open field, and let him run. And that's how I feel. You just got to let guys go out there and play, and make plays. And he definitely can make plays, big plays.
And
humor me for a second. Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know about big plays. Now you played with Tommy as well. Now. In terms of getting to that, Tommy seen what we was going through with the struggles of offense. You played with him, and now he's coaching there. Do you think that he's going to be able to do the things that we always talked about we needed to do to get over that hump, or do you think there's just something in place that keeps everybody doing the same thing? It feel like.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is about like college football, but it's like it's almost like they create this they have their one structure, and they like, all right, this is it, and we try to fit guys in this structure instead of like tailoring it to the guys that you have. I think even if we like, I'm like, I just look back when we was in college, we had 3, 4, 5 big play receivers at the time, and we had them all in one position.
Wow, yeah.
Like, EQ, Chase, and Corey all playing the X.
You got Will at the X, you got Breeze and Corey at the W. You got me and Amir in the slot, Tori in the slot, and it's like we can all play different. We can all play somewhere else. We don't have to all play like in one spot. Like we all just you got to play here, you got to play here. We're not like it wasn't like we were dumb. We could figure it out. We can learn the playbook and
the offense definitely wasn't that hard. We were just running right and left.
So it was just confusing. Like that always confused me. Like why weren't we just like? And then if we did switch positions, it wasn't ever like they never threw the ball to.
Yeah, it was just like you would switch out there to give a decoy. It wasn't even like
basically a decoy. You just running it. It's basically just run play. Like they could probably motion you back to the position you get anyway. So it was just like that's always confused me about college football. And you still, I guess you see it a lot. I don't know if they just don't want to like make it too complicated as far as the playbook. But you see a lot of teams they might only move one receiver around or something. But I just thought like if we just literally just have. Instead of having, put Will in the slot, put Amir out at X, put Corey out at X, put Amir in the W in the boundary, and then all of a sudden we got a whole new matchup, and then now they can't just zero in on like try to double team Will. They gotta do something.
They gotta find him.
Exactly. So it's like I just felt like we were so one dimensional, and we could have been a lot more dangerous.
I think the other thing that I hear all the time from all you guys that were on that squad was 3 letters that just makes everybody cringe, and it goes back to something you say. These 3 initials, BVG. I see that reaction. See that reaction? That's the same reaction from everybody.
Man, listen, it was so funny. Like I remember talking to one of my good friends, his dad was, asking about like how's the defense, how's the team looking, how's the defense, everything. And this is like right after, I think this is right after the LSU game. And I'm like, listen, offense, we explosive. We making a lot of big plays. Yeah. But I'm also not sure if it's the defense messing up. But we just really good because we making a lot of big plays in this defense. And it was just like, I think sometimes, like I was just talking about our offense, like we should have been more complicated. I think the defense should have been less complicated. Yeah. So it's like,
he had people pressed and stressed.
Right. It confused me when he had. I'm not really sure about from the NFL locker rooms I've been in, the safeties and the linebackers control most of the communication. He had the corners doing most of communication. That always confused me.
Wait, what do you mean, like communicating how? Like calling coverages?
Man, I remember they were saying the corners was calling the coverages. You might have to ask Key or somebody else, but
because you would see him communicating way more than anybody else.
Like literally, like the corner was talking. Usually, the safeties tell the corner something. They're like, all right, they go to the man. But this, like you hear the corner telling the safety where to go, and I'm like, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be. And then you just see the safeties all out of position. They just don't. They got no chance to even make plays.
No chance.
Sending a lot of blitzes is not even getting home. At that time, we didn't really have. Our pass rush was good, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it wasn't as elite as it has been in the past few years in Notre Dame. So, we didn't have that pass rush that was just getting there. And we didn't really have blitzers who were also getting there. So it was like you're leaving these guys out on islands.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do as a DB. You got they got everywhere to throw the ball. Like you can be covering somebody, but they still got to throw. They still got to open throw to them because they can just throw them away. They can just throw the ball away from them because there's nobody else out there. It's like literally 4 people going, maybe sometimes 3 because they just blitzing people and leaving holes everywhere.
So,
it felt like, man.
You and your boy Leak, man, y'all boys. It's easy to tell. You guys are boys, man. Yeah. But I think you might hurt his feelings a little bit coming up because I want to ask you about championship weekend in the NFL and get your thoughts. So let's start with the NFC.
Okay.
Matchup: Rams, 49ers. The Rams, have had a difficult time beating the 49ers. You played in that division.
Yeah.
Divisional rivals. Like, I expect it to be a hard-hitting game. They know each other like the back of their hands. How do you see that game playing out?
It's tough, man. That's going to be a tough game. That NFC West is a tough division. I think it's really hard to beat somebody 3 times. either side. You might get their number a couple of times, but they're gonna eventually bounce back. So I mean, I think it's gonna be the Rams, but I think that's gonna be the game of the weekend for sure.
Say that again.
I think that's gonna be
That's gonna be the game of the weekend.
I think so for sure.
Because the other one is gonna be like a. But
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I'm teasing my boy. Of course, Mr. Bengals himself over here. So let's talk about the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Joe B.
Yeah, Joey Business.
Cigar Joe goes in the Arrowhead to face off against Patrick Mahomes. How do you see this game playing out?
Only one way.
Listen, the Bengals got to put up them points.
We can do that. We can.
And y'all definitely got the offense. Yeah. I haven't really watched the Bengals play a lot. Like I barely watched them in the playoffs. I was traveling over the weekend, so I didn't get to watch it. I ain't really seen the defense.
You ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing nothing. Just watch them on offense and turn the TV.
Yeah, but if you don't stop Tyreek Hill, it's a wrap. That's facts. Like if you don't, that should be the main game plan. No Tyreek Hill. Y'all should triple cover him.
Now Travis Kelce getting busy on people too.
Hey, let Kelce get because it's gonna be slower. Kelce gonna be about 10 to 15. He might give you a big 25, 30-yard run, but Tyreek gonna give you 80 in one play. You let it. Man, that run last week, that was wow.
But do you think they don't want to tackle? Because how is he that? Everybody in the NFL is fast.
He literally did a peace sign and dudes in front of him. He ran past him like he literally made air like he outran a corner that was running full speed and he made him look like he was like slow. Like he make you look like they just not even moving out there.
So in person, it has to look crazy. It has to look crazy in person.
Yeah.
You knew when he made Poyer miss in the middle of the field.
Bro, I was like,
and he changed directions at full speed. That was the crazy thing. And like once he turned the corner, I was like, oh, it's a wrap.
But it's like nobody was close. I'm like, oh, jump and get him. You're right there.
The moment he caught the ball, I was like, yo, that's touchdown. He literally turned on. He literally took off on everybody. I was like, that's touchdown. You already.
That is crazy.
Too fast.
So CJ, I'm giving you two quarterbacks. Who are you taking right now? I can't wait to hear this. Josh Allen or Joe Burrow?
Oh, easy. Easy.
I'm taking Josh.
Woo!
I'm taking Josh, bro. Josh, Josh, my favorite.
Talk about it, CJ.
Josh Allen, my favorite quarterback in the league right now.
What? Yes, sir. Talk about it.
I don't know what it is about him, bro. Him and Justin Herbert are my two favorite quarterbacks, but like,
wow.
You
heard those two names?
But franchises like that though. Joey's like that. Joey's like that.
Crazy.
But no,
you said Josh Allen was your favorite right now.
No,
that's
my favorite because the way he played, like he's I'm not going crazy here, but he's like running wise. He don't run like Lamar Jackson, but he run as much as Lamar Jackson, and he get it done, bro. Like he'll hurdle you, he'll juke you, he'll do whatever, and he's cold, bro. Like he's really cold to me. And the throws he be making, fire.
Malik, you gotta stop hating, man.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating.
You called him a glorified running back, bro.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. LL Nation will let you know. You said it 2 days ago on the podcast. You called him a glorified running back, my dude.
I said that I think Josh Allen has a lot of talent, but people overhyping when he loses games that he's not supposed to lose. That's all.
What game was he not? Was he supposed to win Sunday?
Like CJ said, it's hard to beat somebody as much as they've been beating them. So I'm expecting Josh to be like, okay, it's my turn because everybody boosting me. I'm dumb hype. I got 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I'm supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He let me down like our guy butt fumble, Mark Sanchez.
He scored with 13 seconds left. How did he let you down?
Listen, like I said, defense wins championships.
Now, the number one pass defense give up all that. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I told you. Leslie Frazier had all his interviews canceled.
I mean, I'm like the 13 seconds. I can kind of like. I was like, all right, like y'all messed up, but y'all y'all get a pass. Overtime, they went down and scored without being stopped. It was like, are y'all even out there? Like, come on, bro. I can forgive them for the 13 seconds because that was, the Chiefs are really good at clock management and they had 3 timeouts. And like, that's, if you're a good team, like, and you got some really good players, you can get down the field in 13 seconds, in less than that. So, but for them to let them just go down there and just score, like it was like a walkthrough out there almost. Like they just passed and
it wasn't tackling, it wasn't running fast. I'm like, come on, Buffalo, this is overtime.
Yeah, like the game about to lose.
Fuck around, lose.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Our special guest, we thank CJ Prosise for putting us some time today. Is there anything you want to promote off the field that you're into, and let people know how they can stay connected to you on social media and everything else that you're doing?
Yeah, man. I just opened my gym up back in May down in Frisco, Texas. BP Performance. You can follow us on IG. IG is BP Performance 24/7. I can send it to it's BP Performance 24_7.
Okay.
And yeah, man, we getting started. We got we've got a lot of kid classes and a lot of group sessions. Also, for adults, we got group classes and group sessions. So we've been having a great start to the year. We keep it going. So I'm just glad y'all had me on, and I mean let me promote that. So thank you.
Oh, it's crazy because we talked about this yesterday, man. Do kids play pickup football in the park like we used to?
I'm
so specialized now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, like every time I go out to a field out here, because I live out in, like I said, I live out in Frisco area, Frisco, Texas. It's always like people doing personal training. It ain't like people just picking up the football and going out playing no more. It's
like I'm paying for a session.
I'm paying for a session to get trained out here. I mean, in Texas, it's different. It's it's the mecca of football. So it's football year round out here, and so we constantly training. We constantly got like teams coming into the gym who want to just who need like a place to train their kids and just do like little stuff for them and stuff. So yeah, man, like it's
serious
down here. And I think they even have like kid football organizations where you got to be involved to even playing them. Like you got to be involved all year to be playing them. Like if you ain't training with them during the off season, they won't let you play with them. I'm like, this is not even high school. This is like Pop Warner. Like, so it's real down here.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody recently. They were telling me that Frisco is one of those areas that if you bought in like 10 years ago, like it's popping for you right now.
Yeah, for sure. If you bought in 10 years ago, you definitely
went out there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they said 10 years ago, it was just, farmland and cows, like now it's all built up. They literally have everything here now.
Damn.
All right, man. Malik, I'm gonna let CJ stay on, man.
In the petty train?
Should we let him stay on for the train?
The petty train, man.
Should he? Let him. He's the first guest. We're gonna have him be the first guest to stay on for the petty train. LL Nation, you know what time it is.
All right.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction each and every day. We talk about the pettiest stories, right? So, Jonathan Kuminga, man. I don't know if you saw this highlight last night, bro. This dunk he put on the Dallas Mavericks last night, bro. Man, and of course, for licensing rights, we can't show it. Look, man. It's not the dunk wasn't petty. It was what he did after the dunk, right? He dunked on dude, turned around and just grinned. and laughed, right? But he wasn't even grinning at the dude. He didn't even respect the dude enough to grin at him. He just turned, and Klay Thompson's walking from half court, and he's just grinning, laughing at Klay like, yeah, I got him. I got him. It's just right. He didn't even do anything. Just mad petty, man. I thought that was ridiculously petty. So we got to throw that cat Jonathan Kuminga on the petty train today. We got to throw him on the petty train. The next thing I got to throw on the petty train, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. This goddamn Chicago weather, dog. I'm done. I'm officially done. CJ, I told him all of my Chicago was gone, man. Like every ounce of Chicago that allowed me to deal with the cold weather, I can't do it. Yeah. I'm done. This was the expiration date. So this Chicago cold weather currently, like I said, when I went out to put air in the tire, it was like 7 below. Woo. Now we sitting at about 6 degrees, baby.
That hurt my stomach, hurt my chest. Hey,
you ain't getting in cold weather no more, huh, CJ?
I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
Last but not least, and of course, we want to see what LL Nation has to say. The Baseball Writers of America. Let me tell you something, man. And everybody that wants to get on that pulpit talking about cheating the game and you don't deserve to get into the Hall of Fame. Look, man, unless the owners are about to give back all the TV money that came from the steroid era and all of the money that came from concessions and people walking in the turnstiles during that era when baseball was at its greatest, unless you all are about to give that money back to charity, I don't want to hear what you have to say because you all were complicit. Players, management, owners, you all shared in the windfall. Everybody.
Thanks.
So unless you're about to do something with that money and give it to charity, put them in the Hall of Fame, man.
Straight up.
Yeah.
The TV deals you have today came off of their backs and their sweat. But now baseball writers want to act like they have to protect the sanctity of baseball. That's why baseball is like the third most loved sport. America's pastime. That's why it's like third now.
Yeah.
Because of actions like this. It's stupid.
And women's basketball is coming up because they dunking now.
Yeah.
So they might slide to 4.
It's crazy. Like Barry Bonds, my dude.
Like, come on, he's like the greatest. He's literally like the greatest player to ever play the game. Like, come on.
Kanye literally made a song called Barry Bonds. And you won't put this dude in the Hall of Fame?
Man, show that brother some love, baseball writers.
Hey, please show that dude some love. Please. And I got to throw Nick Saban back out there, man. I don't know what Nick Saban tells other great players on other great teams to get them to come to Alabama. Like, dude, we already know he went and grabbed the starting wide receiver off the national championship team. That's crazy. Like, this dude just beat you 2 weeks ago.
I'm like, all right, come on over here. You probably talk to him after the game. Like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, after the game, yeah. You leaving with us, right? Or you just gonna go back home first? Or you taking the plane back with us?
Let me get my assistant arrange your travel back to Alabama tonight.
Right. So he snagged the ACC Freshman of the Year, Offensive Freshman of the Year. He snagged a first-round DB from LSU. Just come on over. Then he snags Burton, and reports pop up that he's about to snag another DB from Kirby Smart. Look. And look, he told us, look, I'm doing it this way. If y'all really want me to tap into that NIL, it's going to be a problem. He told them at the press conference before the championship game, like, man, y'all need to regulate this or it's going to be bad. I hope
the only thing left is Nick Saban showing up in music videos. That's the only thing left.
Heck, he already doing commercials with Prime.
Hey.
He already doing commercials with Deion Sanders. I mean, I bet you Nick Saban has a commercial at the Super Bowl. I bet you it's an Affleck commercial with him and Deion Sanders at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do our list, but we want you, CJ, to give us your early list. You know the Super Bowl, right? You got Eminem, Kendrick, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Mary J. Blige.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, you know, Malik says is overrated.
She can't sing.
Who?
Mary J. Blige.
Man, Malik, you about to have me hang up, man.
Man, this dude, I told you.
Yeah, everybody know Mary J. Blige can't sing. That's another story, though.
You just Malik a controversial person.
I don't know. It's just this week. This week he's been on one. I don't know what it is. Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Mary J. Blige. It's just like, yo, he's been. This is my question. Give me your 3 songs that you won't hear at the Super Bowl, but you would love to hear. It has to be PC because it's the Super Bowl. But give me the 3 joints. No, give me a joint from each person that you would love to hear that you know. Man, they ain't gonna do that one.
So we got Kendrick. Who else? We got Kendrick, Dr. Dre.
Kendrick, Eminem, Dr. Dre,
Snoop,
Mary J. Blige.
Ooh. Dang, I don't know. Let me see.
Give me a Kendrick song that you wish he would do, but you doubt that they would let him do at the Super Bowl.
I mean, he probably do. He can do Money Trees, can't he? I mean, I think Mad City, I guess.
The thing about Kendrick is that he's already half PC. If anything from To Pimp a Butterfly would be the one I'm going with. They want to play them tracks.
There's some stuff on that Good Kid, Mad City I don't think he can bring out. Like, I don't beat don't kill my vibe.
Yeah, no, definitely. Please, definitely. That's the song I definitely want to hear. That's my go-to. That's definitely my go-to with Kendrick. Don't kill my vibe.
Let's see, Eminem. What's the song?
Eminem. Oof. And what can Eminem perform that? No.
Yeah, straight up. If he ain't saying Mom Spaghetti, everything else is important.
I mean, Snoop. I'm just, I always want to hear that Gin and Juice.
Classic. Snoop. Whoever Snoop's booking agent is amazing. They booked this man for Olympics to cooking shows to Super Bowl. This man everywhere, man.
Snoop getting that bread. You can't even blame him.
Yeah.
Throwing birthday parties. This man doing it all. Bro.
Yeah. I think he's doing all the NFTs and everything too. Like
NFTs now.
Dre, let me see. Ooh. And I gotta see what we got with Dre.
I already know we can skip Mary J. Blige because I know you ain't want to hear nothing from her anyway.
He's so disrespectful, bro. He's so disrespectful, man. He's so disrespectful. You might have to go to Chronic 2000.
I don't want to see.
I'm thinking about the Chronic. I mean, all the. I mean, I'm about the old school stuff though, like real, like straight out Compton. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You can go back to NWA.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking about the NWA time, right. But fuck the police.
Well, he's definitely not gonna do F the police.
Yeah, that's definitely ain't in there. But nah, yeah, it's a lot, bro. It's so many good people. I ain't even know what the Super Bowl halftime performance who was even performing until y'all just told me. But Kendrick, that's gonna be live though. They got everybody from LA out there.
Yeah. And you got Mary and Dre both dropping albums after the show. As soon as the show was over.
She just need to just drop more Power episodes. Stop getting exposed. That's my whole thing. She needs to stop getting exposed on Power. So
that's all you can think about.
That's all I can think about.
CJ, are you a big Succession guy?
Nah.
You're not a big Succession guy. You watch Power.
No, I don't really watch Power. My girl watch Power all the time. Okay. I be seeing what's going on the side. I don't really be invested though.
That cat Malik, boy, that dude tweets. He's that dude. Like, don't follow Malik if you haven't seen the episode of Power
He
on
gonna tell you
Time.
everything.
Don't follow Malik. He definitely will spoil it for you.
I love that show. Love the show.
But CJ, man, we appreciate you joining us today. LL Nation, don't forget, subscribe, share, like, hit that like button, man. And next week, we got home team Julian Akwar joining us next Tuesday. He'll be on. And then hopefully we have an interview this weekend that we'll be dropping sometime next week. That's going to be pretty dope. So be locked in. Follow us at Lucky Lefty Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And then we're available on Apple Podcasts under A2S Network. A2S Network. Go ahead and search for that. Go ahead and subscribe to the Lucky Lefty Podcast. All of our content is right there. So for the great CJ Prosise, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis. As we tell you always, spin it different today. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Appreciate y'all, man.